presenting to you live here with our network, the Signal Network. It's nice to have everybody here. As you come in, where are you from and how's the weather? Those are the things that I like to know. I have Lauren here, and she's supposed to be our up in our feed with us. So we'll wait for her to click that link, and then we'll have her come on. How's everybody doing? I hope you're doing well. It is Saturday. It is pouring rain here in New Jersey. It hasn't rained in I think since like um August 21st or so. So we've been in not a drought, but it has certainly been without rain for a while. There's Lauren. She's dancing away, having a good time. Hi, Lauren.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic, thank you.
What you eating?
Skittles.
Did we just become best friends?
Yes, I have the mini ones.
Oh, you have a huge bag of mini Skittles. This is not sponsored by Skittles, but I think it should be.
But it should be.
Skittles, pay attention. You got
Woo!
Is that the neurodivergence that we love all the different tangy flavors and the crunchy and the chewy? What is it?
That might be it. That might be it. Man.
And a lot of sugar, obviously.
Oh, absolutely. Are you kidding me? At
Yeah.
8:30 at night.
Yeah, I have work tonight, so I'm allowed to be sugared up. You probably need to get some sleep.
Not gonna lie. Oh my gosh, I'm choking on my Skittles. Not gonna lie, I'm gonna be building tonight because my husband's on an investigation. So I am gonna stay up
Oh,
a little bit.
where is he?
He so we're on a team together that does like residentials and stuff, and he is off at a residential in Geneva.
Okay, Geneva, Ohio.
Oh yes, yes.
We're all from different parts of the
I
world.
know.
It's
I'm just
important to know.
assuming that you know
Um,
everything about
no,
Ohio.
I don't know. I know nothing.
Oh no, not now.
Not. I was like, oh, well, I got about an hour to kill.
One of these days.
So we are getting through our first week here on Signal Network. We've premiered your show. We've had two Beyond the Badge premiere. Things are going pretty well. Are you creating more videos? Have you come up with more ideas to shoot?
Oh my gosh. I just wrote like the longest research script of my life today.
Really?
So I am trying to make the episodes like a little bit longer as they go. Because if anybody knows anything about my TikTok content and a lot of my Facebook content and Instagram content, I do a lot of more like short form, condensed, get a lot done in a little amount of time. But now with Signal Network, I can like,
You can expand.
oh
That's
man.
isn't that so that is like the what we were thinking about when we were making this. I said it's very difficult if you're an adult with a full-time job and a family, but you still want to do YouTube and get something back from it, right? It's hard to be a full-time creator and do everything else. And you have your school, which is crazy. So you're doing a lot already. It's very difficult to post something every single week and satisfy the algorithm of YouTube. So
Mm-hmm.
part of the thinking with what we did was it's a lot easier for us to have a bunch of creators that we're all pitching in, and we may not, when we are hitting big numbers eventually, we may not be making the same amount of money, but that's okay because we're doing it as a team, and it just is what it is, and it's nice to know that we have a team to rely on to do that.
Yep, because somebody's working the algorithm while you're gone, and the
Yep,
channel's there, and the channel's going to grow more than it has already.
yep, which
And
is today.
and
Yeah,
it keeps me motivated too, because it can get very discouraging if I have like bad couple of weeks and I can't make any content. It's like starting from zero. So
yep,
it's nice that
and that
I.
all of these things went into consideration when we were putting this together because I said the same thing. I don't know, I personally probably have about 400 videos on my personal channel and it's monetized, but it's so difficult to keep going because I have so many other
You have to be
responsibilities that have.
so consistent.
Yeah, so we have consistency now, and that's something that's really important. Hey, I see Beyond the Badge is checking in. What's up, Beyond the Badge? How are you?
I see a
um
lot of people up in here. Hello,
Yeah, Crystal's
everybody.
here. What's up? Star Orchid, what's up? Maria, what's up? Wanty's World, another one of our amazing first responders is here. Lady TJ, what's up? Lady TJ says she's the CEO of Delinquents in Mischief, which is fantastic. I love it. And so, yeah, we have a lot of people. As you're coming in, say hello. This is Lauren from Lauren Hunts. She is here on the Signal Network with us. Right now, we're going to hang out. I have some questions I want to ask Lauren, some chit chat back and forth between us. And if you folks in the comments have anything you would like to ask us about the paranormal, please do. The only thing that I'm going to tell everybody, and this is a blanket rule across all lives that you'll see my face on, we don't talk about politics or religion unless it is related to the topic of the paranormal, and we don't press our beliefs on people. But if you mention politics or religion in some kind of negative way or try to get a rise, you're just getting banned from the channel. We don't care. That's how we run it. Oh, and Robert Heskey is here. We're going to be dropping his podcast tomorrow.
Like
Consistency. Lauren, could you have dropped 2 full investigations, your video, 3 lives, and a podcast all in 1 week?
uh-huh.
Right. Well, we can as a team, can't we?
I know it's nice. It's nice. And it gives me time to grow my content organically, and that's what I wanted. I didn't want to like force half-hour episodes right off the bat, even though that's like
Yeah.
that's my ultimate, and that's been my goal since before, because I told you that when we first even started talking about Signal, was it was my goal to do like longer content, because I dig into some crazy stuff, man.
Yeah, I'd like to hear about all that stuff. And I think it's what we were talking about when it comes to what we're all doing here is we're educating and entertaining at the same time, which I think is really important. For a long time, I think when we first started watching ghost shows, I think there was a lot of education, and then eventually they
Yes.
realized they get better ratings with
Sensationalism.
entertainment. Right.
Yep.
So we want to kind of rein it back in, and we want to give everybody a grounded view of what we believe the paranormal is, or at least what we are aiming to show, right? So we can be entertaining in those moments where scary things are happening, and we can be taken aback by some of the things that we find, of course. But nothing that we present is ever going to be sensationalized just because we have a producer in our ear being like, Lauren, could you go back and really just dial that scream in, would you? Okay, thanks. Yeah, we're not gonna do that stuff.
No.
Um, so
They
that's a
would
lot
be
of
like,
fun.
Lauren,
Hey,
can you be quiet? Just
no,
kidding. She would
never.
never.
Only when we're in the quiet, I think. Um, so let's see, Lauren. Lauren, you do a lot of events. Do you have any events coming up that you want to tell anybody about?
I do have MadCon at the Madison Seminary in Ohio,
Okay.
and that one is going to be fun. We're raising money for cystic fibrosis. So we
Oh, very
have,
good.
yeah, so we have a ton of raffles that you can go and you can buy tickets, and you can put tickets in for the raffle. And I mean, it's a ton of stuff. It's from like small little paranormal baskets to TVs. We always have at least like 2 TVs to give away.
Oh, wow, that's nice. That's a nice
Yes.
raffle. I'd like to come win a television.
We have a ton of locations that you can win investigations at. I'm
Ooh.
wondering too. They used to in the past you could call in and buy some tickets and put some tickets in. Not sure if they're doing that again this year, but
I might have to Venmo you.
no, seriously, there's so much cool stuff. I always end up buying a ton of tickets. I don't bring equipment or anything to events anymore, just because making
You're
stuff for
maxed out.
events is, yeah, I'm my orders are goodness gracious. But so I usually bring like stickers, and I have little field journals that I engrave and put all sorts of cool stuff on there. So I have like small things on my table for sale, aside from me showing people new equipment and just like talking to them. But anytime
Yeah.
I sell anything, I go and I buy more tickets and I put it in for the
That's
it's
a
my raffle
I
money.
love it. Going to Paracons and seeing people like vendors walking around with bags of other vendors' things.
Oh
But
yes.
but that's what the community is about, right? You go there and you're like, all right, listen, if I sell 10 Ouija boards today, I could probably buy 3 REM pods or
It's
three,
the easiest way to
different pieces
shop
of equipment.
small. Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
best.
And
I love
not
it.
come home and get like the eye from somebody. I'm not going to mention any names in
No.
this house, but I sometimes I get the eyeball, you know what I mean? But I come back home with a lot of interesting things sometimes, so I
I
get it.
always make sure I buy a present for my husband if I'm gonna
Oh.
irresponsible. If I come home with a present, then he's like, "Babe, oh, okay, oh, uh,
Oh.
okay."
I'm like, "Hon honey, I got you Look what I got you, dear. Look. And she's like, that's for you. Don't even try it. And I'm like, all right, that's mine.
No,
Don't.
you gotta bring home the presents. It works every
It's
time.
always about the presents.
Oh yeah.
Let me see. I got some cool, fun ghost questions. So last night with Beyond the Badge, I prompted for ChatGPT to give me some good questions to ask them, in
Oh.
particular when it came to EMS, firefighting, and the paranormal. So today I just kind of was like, you know what? I got Lauren on. I want to make sure that we could keep things moving fun and like let's ask just some questions. I haven't read any of them yet. I'm looking at them on my screen now. So if you folks, I saw somebody first off. Somebody asked in the comments, what I want to find it. Somebody asked about what is a signs of like a possessed person. Oh, Christine, thank you so much for the donation. We appreciate you. Super. Thank you so much. So, do you have any like? Have you ever come across somebody who you thought might have been possessed?
I'm gonna be honest, that is not at all my wheelhouse. I do work with a demonologist for so when it comes to me doing any kind of investigation, any kind of work, any kind of research, or anything like that, I stay in my wheelhouse.
Hmm.
So I don't pretend that I know what demonic things even are. It's not something that I have a lot of personal belief in. So I try not
Okay.
to work, but I want to be respectful of beliefs because belief is very very powerful.
Very
So
powerful.
yeah, I could totally go down a rabbit hole on that. Um, so I work with mediums, I work with psychics, I work with demonologists. One in particular, yeah, I'm gonna talk. It's okay. I can
Yes.
throw out names, right?
Yeah. We don't slander.
Fantastic.
We only say nice things.
Oh my gosh. But also too, he actually is a Lauren Hans sponsor. So I should really say his name anyway, because he
Do it.
also owns the Ghost Hunter store. And that is where I'm able to get a ton of equipment that I'm able to test if it's stuff that I haven't made. Because sometimes you have to be able to do experimentation and research using things that you don't always create, because that's a little bias. So I wrote an academic paper and I had to use equipment that I obviously didn't make to test out some of the theories. So the Ghost Hunter store is where I typically get all my stuff from. But Dave Giuliano is a name that I don't think enough people know. He
I
has
know
been,
Dave.
oh yeah, I mean, he's an incredible human being.
Great guy.
He's also, we'll have to talk because he really
Yeah.
wants to, he wants to like link up with you and really wants to meet up with you and stuff too. Um, we talk all the time about how opposite our belief systems are, and that's why we work so well together. So he is a not a I read some books and I'm a demonologist, like church verified. He can perform exorcisms. He
Wow.
has yes, he's very legit.
He
He's the
has
guy that
his book is called like Saint Michael's Armor or something like that. Is that
yes. Yes. So he has a lot of books out there as well too. He does a demonology class that he typically does for just donation because he thinks that the information needs to be out there. And I'm talking like this guy like knew Jason Hawes before Jason Hawes was Jason Hawes, kind
so
of old.
let's do this. Why don't you set it up and we'll have him come on with us and
Oh
we'll
my
talk with him.
gosh.
I think our
Yes.
audience would love to meet somebody who isn't a very publicly out facing person when it comes to social media. He's very kind of reserved in what he does. But maybe since he wants to, I don't know what he wants to do, but maybe he wants to come and hang out with us and talk to the audience and tell them a
I've been
little bit
trying to
about
push
those.
him out a little bit more.
All right, so this would
Digging
be a
out of
good
this.
opportunity. It's
Yeah.
not scary here. We're very, we're chill. So it's interesting that you don't go too much into the demon stuff, and I got to be honest with you, I don't either. When it comes to possessions in human beings, I think I've only. This is a weird thing. I went to a location for a private investigation. I came across something that was I don't know if it was a demon. I'm not sure, but it was insanely dark and it was very
Mhm.
bad and it was targeting certain people on this property. And one of the people that it was targeting was a young woman. And when I first met her, when I first took the case, she was very healthy. She was vibrant, all the things that you expect. She's a mom, all the things. And when we were done, I said, I don't know what we're going to be able to do to help you. The best chance you have is probably to move. But in the meantime, don't challenge it. Don't do anything to make it angry. Um, but from some other sources, I found out within a couple months, she started challenging it and she started getting in its face and going out and yelling at it. And slowly but surely, she started to fall into drugs and alcohol abuse. She started to have side quests outside of her marriage, we'll say. And when I saw her about 6 months later, I didn't even recognize her. I ran into her at a store. Her eyes were sunken, her cheeks were sunken. She had like no weight left on her body. And I said to my wife, I was like, I think something really bad is going on with her. So I reached back out to her after that. And as it turns out, yeah, she told me, she fessed up. She was like, I went out, I was challenging it, I didn't want to hear anymore, which is normally what I would tell people if you have grandma ghost in the house. If you have grandma and grandpa ghost in the house, claim your space. If
Oh
you have
yeah.
something and there's somebody who deals with these things often and is like, so I witnessed a something that shape changed from a horse to a dog, something that looks like a hellhound, something that is killing animals and admitting to it. Even the other ghosts on the property were like, we don't go near where that thing resides because it's such a nasty thing. And it's a scary thought that something could target you and slowly take over, and it's that part of demonic possession that I think happens, right? So what I would tell anybody is find a professional, somebody who is licensed. I don't know if they're licensed, somebody who is ordained by the church or given the
Yes. Yes.
dominance, yeah, ordained right by the church, to look into that. Because if I in my practice, I've learned that if I run into something like that, now I have a network. Not this network, a network of paranormal investigators and people that I know. Like if I needed that help right now, I'd put out a post and I'd say, hey, I need somebody that specifically deals with this kind of stuff. And I know that I would get good feedback and I'd find the right person to be able to help my client, because it ain't about me and it's not about you as an investigator. We've done as much as we can. And when we run into those roadblocks, it's always important to be like, I'm at my limit, this is dangerous. Let's find the next person that can help us out.
I kind of like piggying off of that. So we think of possession and things like that like it is a specific entity that has like come into your space and then they are entering your body and they're taking over and things like that. And I think so much of that is based deeply on the belief that it can happen. Not saying, well, you don't have a lot of, other than in Hollywood, a lot of like non believers and things being affected by that stuff. And it's the same thing when it comes to spiritual practice. To be healed, you have to believe that you're going to be healed in order to like
Yep.
receive Reiki. There has to be some sort of um what is the word I'm looking for, consent for it. And
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
it's the same thing when it comes to evil stuff, because it's interesting that you said alcoholism and drugs and things like that, because we have dark forces in the world called addiction. We
Yep.
have called PTSD, called the things that affect us in these awful ways that can change a person, that can make them
Yeah.
unrecognizable. And a big thing about being in recovery, so I used to, my mother, who passed away from dementia, and she was an alcoholic, which progressed her dementia, obviously. But it was like she was just this different person, and she was highly educated. But it got really bad the older that she got, obviously. So I quit
Hmm.
drinking about 7 years ago, and I went through something like AA, but I'm not a religious person, so I used a lot of like yogic practices, and the 8 limbs of yoga are actually very similar to the steps that you would take in AA, just without the God aspect. And so much of it is like you need to consent to be better. You have to believe that you're going to be better and that you're going to stay better, and you have to believe that you can, overcome these things. And so much of the paranormal effects of the world, I think, are so deeply based on belief. So if you are challenging something and saying, like, get out of my house, there is a part of fear that's happening, and that's where your aggression's coming from. And
Yep.
so that fear actually ends up probably the
Energizing.
what we call the possession part could
Yeah.
be a part of your fear, your like lack of will, the lack of like thinking that you're strong enough to do this, thinking that you need to be stronger to make it leave your house. Like there's just such a deep dive in the psychology of this. And
Yeah,
people confuse, oh, psychology, that means it's all in your head. No, it's not. Addiction's not in your head. That is a disease. And
it's
there are
real. Yeah,
people
oh,
that
yeah,
are prone to addiction that may never be addicted to anything in their life. But
yeah.
the
They just didn't
moment
find it by accident. Yeah,
correct.
yeah,
Correct. And there's so many parallels with that and things like demonic possession. So I guess I do
yeah.
have an opinion on it.
Yeah, so that's a good opinion because what's interesting is as I've gone through my journey with all of this stuff is I've also found that people who are neurodivergent, ADHD specifically, we have this really interesting predisposition for pattern recognition, and it seems to help with the mediumship and psychic abilities. And I have just noticed that there are three things that always run together: mediumship and psychic abilities, ADHD, and addiction issues. It seems like all three of those commonly run together. And if you're not balancing them correctly, and I would say mind, body, soul, right? Like that triangle, like if you're not taking care of yourself in all these aspects, then when one of them collapses, the other ones aren't going to do so well and they overcompensate and it gets to be too much.
Hmm.
So even in the last couple months, I took a break from mediumship because it was draining me. It was like becoming like I don't know how to explain this, but I started to go down that dark path, and I recognized it pretty quick. Like I was like, okay, another reading today. I want to get through it, and we'll get through it. And then when I was done, I was like, well, time to relax it and have a drink. And I was like, oh, that's not good. This is turning into a problem. Right?
Yes.
So it's important to be very self aware. But then where could that lead? So if I'm already specifically open to spirit, if I already have the predisposition for addiction, what happens when all of my things, all of my safeguards are failing and I'm like looking for something to complete me, right? That's when you give consent. I need help. I'm not getting it.
Yes.
Sadness, depression sets in. Maybe being a veteran, maybe the PTSD, the bad thoughts come in. And maybe I wouldn't have had those bad thoughts had I just taken a step away from maxing myself out all the time, right? So that is something that I recognize through my life. And again, more pattern recognition. And I think that's important for anybody watching and trying to understand this. When it comes to things when we're talking about demonic possession or people coming in, which by the way, this is a good segue for Bob Heskey's tomorrow,
Hmm.
his podcast, Afraid of Nothing. They're going to touch on some of this stuff. Um, we we need to make sure that we are protecting ourselves and that I always say like people say this about curses, not demons. They're like, Scott, do you believe in curses? And I say no. I will never give another human being or a thing the ability to put a curse on me. I have thick walls. You can put whatever you could do it. You could do a ritual, put knives in a bottle, fill it up with sand, and throw it in a river, and put my name in there and
I
curse
have a
my
comment
name.
on
It's
this.
0% effect on me. Go ahead. What's your comment?
So I love that you said that. I don't, well, it shouldn't be, it's my fun little conundrum. It's the balance that I have. I'll just call out my book anyways. I might be the sciency one, your spooky science friend, but y'all, I also love me some witchcraft. Okay. I do a lot of spiritual practice and I've been doing workshops on just like applicable everyday sort of witchcraft for
That's your book?
that's my book
You wrote that book?
for many many years. I did. I This book came out in I think 2023. When did it come out?
Where can we get that book?
Everywhere. Barnes and Noble, Amazon, anywhere you want. If
What's it
you
called?
if you put in Dark Moonlight book, it will come up.
I'm going to make everybody who's watching this right now, I'm gonna put it in the notes descriptions after the video
I
so you'll
made
be
sure
able
that
to
there
pick
were
this book
coloring
up.
pages.
Ooh, coloring, that's my favorite.
Yeah. Look how beautiful that
So
is. My tattoo artist was my illustrator.
oh, that's fantastic.
Aren't they gorgeous? And
When
she
I love it.
um
Everybody, we're gonna put it in the comments for them to be
okay.
able to pick it up, a
Great.
link to it. And then for this, how does the curse thing? What do you think
Okay.
about that?
So I say that in here too. You have to have consent to curse someone, believe it or not, but it can be done. We won't talk about that. You have to have consent to curse someone. You have to have consent to heal someone. You have to have consent to protect someone. Now, you can heal and protect because it's kindness, it's your love. So that's fine, but it is so much stronger if you ask consent. We're not going to talk about how you get consent for we're not going to talk about that. But you're not going to be able to print out a picture of somebody that you don't like anymore and wrap it up in pepper. It's not going to do anything.
Right.
There's just you have to have that personal connection in order for that to happen. So I love that you said that. um and don't worry, I'm never going to be like, so Scott, can I have some of your hair? But because and that's
Just
the thing is,
follow and walk behind me. You'll find some.
consent is so important because and there's so oh my gosh, there's so many fun connections with I let me ADHD. I was going to be doing a workshop for an online event that I was not able to do just because of school that shows so many parallels between things like physics and like practical witchcraft and magic. And so I still might put that together and make a video on it because it's so cool how much our like belief systems, our like folklore, our magic, our like all of these things have their own parallels in the discoveries in science. Doesn't make it's magic is not science, but
Right.
there are the most fascinating parallels of just like human nature being so connected to universe nature. It's
Yeah.
it's it's so so stinking cool. And it's why I am a physics and astronomy major who also hunts for ghosts.
It makes sense to me. So Mary Beth says, and this is a good question. She says, "So I can't protect my
Yes.
grandsons
Oh
without
no.
their consent?
I did like protection and healing. You can do that because that's your
It's
love.
just stronger when they say okay,
It's
right?"
so much
Of course,
stronger
the
when they're
child
like,
isn't gonna
yes.
understand what you're talking about, but, like, it's like,
Well,
if
I will
I
say, Mary Beth, really quick though, if it is something that so I often give this feedback for people that are wondering if they can protect their kids, especially now in school. And I say, get a potted plant together and get some crystals and make some wishes on some crystals. I wish that you're going to be so happy and healthy throughout your school year. And then they can be like, and I want to accept that wish from you. And you put it in that plant. And that is protection magic that is consensual, that you're doing together, that is not being framed like it's witchcraft. I do wishes with bay leaves. I did a lot of these protection things with like my niece, my friend's children, and things like that. You just find something that you're doing together. And
Mhm.
especially if it's something that's protective and something that's healing, that's magic.
Yeah, you know what? I do something, that this is fun, and I think a lot of people might like this. So, you may not have the same means that I do, but I
Oh,
have a
thank you,
window
Christine.
in my
I'm sorry. She said she just ordered the
oh,
book.
thank you, Christine. So I have a window in my shower, of course. It's a small window. And when it gets steamy, and this is every day, I draw a big circle in the seam, and then I put in little sigils, and then I put my family in there, and I
I
say
love that.
everything in the circle is safe, and everything in the circle is what I care about. And I
Hmm.
put in things like sometimes if I know I'm gonna have a big day for readings, I'll draw an eye to represent my third eye. I put peace in there because I do truthfully want to be peaceful all the time. I put in two pillars for strength. I put a heart in there for love and to get me through obstacles. I put a lot of things in there. Just and it takes all of like 30 seconds. It's just a thought every single day I do it. And it seems to help, and when I was going through a little bit of a dark night of the souls, so to speak, I wasn't doing it. It felt disconnected, and it didn't feel like it was gonna help me. But now that I'm feeling so much better and back in my own skin, it's back to full energy, I guess. It's working.
Let me tell
And
you, do your best
it's
next time when you're feeling out of it to do something like that because it's just healing for you and you need to do it for you
yeah.
so much so.
I always don't worry about myself so much when I do things. It's again, and this is an interesting topic too that I we can breach a little bit. Um, When you go okay, so let's set this up. All right, audience, let's set this up. Lauren, let's set it up. Okay. Lauren, we're gonna go on an investigation. In this house, there's a 10-year-old little boy, and every single night he says that there are 6 sets of yellow glowing eyes that float over his bed. His entire family has witnessed some sort of black mist inside the house. They hear scratching and scraping. People get nauseous and sick for no reason. They've had the house inspected for any kind of natural issues. There's no electrical issues, there's no mold, there's no mildew, there's no radon, nothing. It's a clean house. We don't know why these things are happening or why they're witnessing these things. You and I are going to go to the scene and we're going to investigate this house. Do you protect yourself from what could potentially be inside that house? Do you
Oh,
protect
honey, I
yourself with that?
protect myself when I'm going to the grocery store.
Okay. So, what
That's what
would
these
you
are.
do? That's what those are? Those
Yeah,
are protection? Okay, so is there any specific thing with some of that was a real case that I worked, by the way. Is there
it
any
just made me
kind
think
of
of cats.
oh, cats with the
They're like,
yellow eyes?
were they key cats?
No. They're he called them, witches, but yellow
Oh,
eyes led us to believe something else. Um, so when people ask me, like, "What do you do, Scott, when you go into a place like that?" I don't protect myself at all. I do 0, less than 0, as a matter of fact. I invite all of it to come in and mess with me, and not like in a Zach Bagans way, not in a, like, "Come at me, ghost," more in a, like, I'm here as a neutral, and anything that will affect them, I hope will affect me so that I can experience it and try to process it and understand it better. So I know a lot
this
of
is
ghost hunters,
not
a lot of
advice that he's giving everybody. This
I'm
is
not
not
giving advice.
advice.
This is me personally, but again, this goes back to my own personal belief that nothing can hurt me if I don't want it to. So, I've been proven wrong before, but it's so
Nope.
it
I give.
happens
Yep.
so it's like one of those things. Like something's got to be a real rock and roll star to get to me.
Hmm.
So I generally go into these places. I have a funny term. I won't use it here, but I go in with no protection whatsoever, and I just want to experience everything to its fullest, so that I can give my best advice to the family or the people being affected by what's happening in the house. And that's my own personal thing on it.
I teach at the psychic fair at Hillview Manor in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. I do a like a protection class, and part of that protection class is talking about your beliefs are what is going to dictate how you interact with things, how things respond to you, how things affect you. So do not feel like if somebody's telling you that you are not protecting yourself and that means that you're going to get like possessed, but you don't believe in demons, you're not, you're fine. You're totally fine. And I have been probably wearing ancestral protection for, I don't know, for as long as I've been witchy. So it's never anything extra when I go into a space. It's all my general, I mean, I do ancestral. So ancestral, I have some ancestral jewelry. That's all of my protection stuff. And it's something that I always wear and I always cleanse it and I'll always refresh it. This might be a little bit morbid, but I take a little bit of my mom everywhere with me.
Oh, okay.
And that's
That's great.
everywhere.
Who better to protect you, right? Mom will
Yeah.
always protect you everywhere you go, of
And
course.
that's everywhere. And yes. Just some of the comments make me laugh. You're fine. You're fine. And but then I also say too, if there's any doubt, if you're nervous, if protection also doesn't have to be like a big to do. It can just
Right, and
be,
I think that's what turned me off to it in the beginning is
it does
because I
not
would
have to be
go
a big
when
to
I
do.
was learning and, like, cutting my teeth and stuff, I would go with people and I to each their own. I have 0 however you wanna be, you be that person, that's you.
Hmm.
But, I got turned off very quickly by, people showing up wearing, like, tons of dangly jewelry and, headscarves and being like, "We're going to invite the archangels, all of them in the white," and I'm like, "No, that's not
Pretty
for me."
intense.
I can just do one of these things and be like, "Please protect me," and I know I'm solid. We're good.
I just throw some
I just
earrings in, call it a
yeah,
day.
I cannot get to it when,
No.
when you're doing all that, I can't. And there's a place for it, for sure, but not there. And
Yeah,
like
we're
if I
not
was gonna go
criticizing
into
anybody
like
on
if I
that.
was gonna go assist a no kidding exorcism, I want to wear like the priest robes. I want to put on the hat. Like I want the all of it. Like I'm gonna go in because if a legitimate priest or demonologist is like, this is an actual possession. Guess what? I want to be in all the armor. I'm going to be like walking with God. You know what I mean? Like we're not going to play. But when I'm walking into any other place where it's unconfirmed or we're trying to figure it out, that's what we're going to do, you know?
Imagining you
And
in,
that's,
you know that band Ghost?
yes, that's exactly
That's
what I was thinking of when I was thinking,
that's
just like
immediately what I
Papa
was
with
imagining
my
you
little
in,
hat
just
on. Yeah.
walking in like dead serious. Let's do this.
Let me take a break. Say hi everybody. Nice to see you there. My name is Scott. This is Lauren Hellickson from Lauren Haunts. We're hanging out today. This is a Signal Network presentation. We're just chit chatting, and we're going to get to what we're going to be doing next weekend here in just a few minutes. We're just chatting a little bit about the paranormal, some darker things, which are very interesting. And I just want to take a minute to say that this is a safe place for all of our viewers. If anybody comes in here and they have negative words to say that are not on point, if they want to come in and be trolls, we just boot them. There's not a place for them. So if you have nice things to say, please say them. If you disagree with us, be kind about it and tell us that you disagree. But if you come in and call people grifters or sham scams or anything like that, we just boot you because we got no time for you. And that's the way we roll. I built a very nice TikTok following doing that, and we're going to continue the stuff here on our channel. So yeah, if you want to bring up stuff about religion, just as long as it has to do with the paranormal, fine. No politics whatsoever because they don't play a part in what we do.
And
Thank
no
goodness.
asking what our religions are either. That just is a that's a don't
It
worry
doesn't
about it.
matter. It doesn't matter.
I
What I
got my stuff. We got all our stuff. Let's talk about ghosts.
Yeah. So speaking of ghosts, in 1 week from today, no, not what's today, Saturday? 1 week from today,
Oh, I'm like, is
um,
it?
yeah, 1 week
I
from today, you
know.
and I will be together in the same space. We're going to be
For the
doing
fourth
some
time.
Yeah, for the first time ever, we're gonna be in the same space. People are gonna be like, "Well, now we know they're not the same person." And I know that's hard to believe that we're not.
Or are we?
Or are we? Well, I think you're much more intelligent than I am, so probably not the same person. I'd have to put on a good ruse.
Get out of here.
Rob Mack says, "What a total douche central." Um, don't who's ever deleting him, just, let him comment so I could block him. Rob Mack, Bobby Mack, Bobby Mackey. Come on,
I
man.
like
Grow
that
up.
I like when Troll Scott comes out every once in a while.
Oh, I used to be really bad on TikTok. My audience would get mad at me because this is something that people need to know. I'm a Marine and a police officer. I'm untrollable. I've been through combat. Every single day I go to work, I deal with people on their worst days of their lives, and they have not great things to say to me. You're not going to troll me on the internet, and you're way easier to get rid of than bad guys in Iraq or people on the street. I can just hit the little delete button, and you're gone.
I
So
can
don't come in here like that.
I cannot wait for you and my husband to meet each other.
I'm very excited. I hope he's handsome. He
You can
probably is.
yeah, you know. You guys can do some weird whatever Marines talk about stuff.
Crayons.
Yes,
All
and
right.
eating them.
Back to task. Next week, we are going to be together in Columbus, Ohio. And this is important for everybody to know. So if you're watching right now, know that next week on Saturday, Lauren and I are going to go live twice on Saturday and I think twice on Sunday. Silvery K down in the comments will let you know about that stuff. And maybe one bonus one, but we haven't worked that out yet. So I don't know where we're going. I don't know the locations. I just know that we're going to pull on some of the threads that Dalen and I hit on during Phantom Forensics in the first couple episodes. So Lauren, I think, knows a ton about what we're doing, but she can't talk about it in front of me because I'm in the cone of silence. I know nothing, and it's important that I know nothing because in the next couple days, I'm going to settle down and I'm going to write all of the things that I feel like I'm going to encounter in different locations, even though I don't know what those are. I'm going to use a mix of remote viewing and mediumship to accomplish this. And then I want all of you folks out there who are sensitive, medium, psychics, whatever you might be, I want you to get out your handy dandy notebooks and I want you to write down what you feel like we're going to encounter. And then when we're live and we're broadcasting and we're all hanging out together, you all can tell us what you got because you don't know where we're going either. What do you got there?
Oh, we were
Ghost
gonna
hunting
get our
book?
notebooks. I want to show my cool
Oh, you
notebook
have your
too.
notebook. Yeah. This is we should probably get you one of these. This is the Phantom
I know the
Forensics
Phantom
notebook that
Forensics one.
yeah, pretty sweet.
This is the Lauren Hans one.
Oh, very nice. Maybe we'll have to do a second edition.
We'll
I
have
like
to
it.
we'll have to trade notebooks.
Fantastic. Let's do that. So we're going to be doing do so I again I don't know what to expect. I do know I have some ideas because of Phantom Forensics. I know that there are some things that are going to be a recurring theme, but I'm going to really try to very specifically drill down into some of these things to help the locations understand what's happening. Now, of course, the first part of it is me doing it remotely from my desk here, but then when we get our boots on the ground, so to speak, that's when the real magic happens because then I'm really dialed into where we are. But then we already have Lauren and Silvery K, who's done a ton of research on these locations and knows a lot about the hauntings. We're going to have a historian on day two who knows a lot about what we're doing. And the coolest part, I think, is Lauren's bringing a bunch of her cool gear with us. So you're going to see a bunch of stuff that is not generic ghost hunting gear. She has a lot of really specific built things, and I think one of the things Lauren and I bonded on, and I wanted to talk about a little bit while we're doing this before our spirit quest next week, is the idea of the paranormal somehow operating through static.
I'm obsessed with static.
So I have been you and I had a conversation a couple months ago about it. Something that Hollywood got really right is when they would do close-up shots and they would show the hair standing up on people's arms. 100% accurate. That's static electricity, and that's part of the paranormal. The thing that I think people get really wrong, and this is my experience, is that it is not cold. I never get cold
I
when I
was
encounter the paranormal.
You
I
are
actually
psychic.
feel like I get really hot and I try to explain it to people the best way I can, and it's kind of dramatic, but think of when you've seen video of the rocket ships coming back to Earth and they're fighting against the atmosphere to come back in, and it gets really hot because there are all these forces at work pressing against each other, right? That's how I feel when I come against something that is paranormal, something spiritual that is happening. It's actually the first thing I usually feel is a pressure, and if I don't step into it, I get the goosebumps and the chills, and then I get really warm. So it sounds like that's kind of your experience.
Yeah, oh, yes. Yes, I will. Robert, I will be talking about all the equipment. I have never really felt the cold spot phenomena. Now, I
Yeah.
have felt so here's the interesting part about like cold spots when it comes to cold spots in the air. If it is not an active gust of wind, if it's not a draft,
Right.
there is a lot that happens when a space loses moisture in the air in order for that static electricity to rise and be a little bit more like permeable, a little bit more tangible. So I can see how an increase in some static production during, some phenomena could give the sensation that you're cold without it actually being a temperature drop. And I know that I'm sure there have been plenty of people who have the experience like, no, 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 it's cold, and that's fine. And you can log the
Yep.
temperature, and that's great. Make sure you have those tools to do that. But I can pretty much, gosh darn guarantee when the atmosphere is cold, which is why I love investigating in the fall and the winter. Static electricity generation, and electron imbalances, because that's what happens when static happens, is more prevalent and it happens easier. So they're tied to each other. So cold spots and static are tied to each other. I've just experienced the static more than I've ever
Right.
experienced the cold, and I have such a huge it's why I'm in school. I have such a huge investment in the idea of static, not just in the paranormal, but um I'm so sorry. I'm like
So
getting ADHD because I want to answer questions.
it's okay because
This
I
is
get
where
it.
we
So
get so excited. I'm putting this
I
on.
know put your I knew you had that tinfoil hat there. So Mary Beth says, wouldn't an increase in static electricity create heat?
No,
I'm not a
actually.
scientist, so I'm going to go with Lauren on this one.
So, what happens now? You're thinking of the friction, and yes, friction would cause an increase of heat. If it's, yes.
Right.
Oh my gosh, no, please don't ever be quiet. Friction, yes, this causes heat, but that's
Mary
not
Beth, this is how we
necessarily
learn. I'm learning with you, Mary Beth, by the way.
I get so excited when people ask questions, even if
That's
it's a
why we got
question
you
that
here.
I'm like, "No, here, let me explain that." It is I love being wrong. I have been nothing but I strive. I want to be wrong because when you're wrong, you learn something new. If you're always
Dude,
right,
do
you
you
don't learn
hold
something new.
on. You have definitely never heard me say this to people I mentor through mediumship.
Oh, do you
I
say
have
the
a
same thing?
whole
We are the
I
same
have
person.
I have a video on YouTube where other mediums came at me so hard because I said it's okay to be wrong. When you are wrong, you learn and you ask questions. Why was I wrong? What was so off about this reading that made me so wrong? And then you recalibrate yourself and try to understand what the message was. And then next time those particular things come out, you can be right this time. So
You
being
literally
wrong is
you
is
can't
good. It's
learn
fine.
without lack of or incorrect knowledge. You can't learn new things without first not knowing. Like that's the whole that's
Yeah.
that's how you learn. It's
That's how
magic.
you learn. Being wrong is how you learn.
You
How
have to
how did
learn.
you
You
know
have to be
how did you
wrong.
know the first time when you grabbed a hot coffee and you're like, "Oh," you learn next time to be like, "Okay, it's all right." Right?
Maybe
This is how
after
you
yeah.
learn, right?
I
So
drink hot coffee all the time. It's bad. But yeah, yeah, that's so important. Um so and then another point of heat generation would be yes, the friction, sure, absolutely, but the ambient static charge isn't carrying any sort of temperature. The discharge, though, because everybody in the class, what is the biggest, most amazing, most phenomenal natural source of static electricity discharge that we can witness as human beings? Y'all know
I
it.
don't
Y'all know it.
I don't know. I have no dun, 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 dun. What is it? Lightning?
Yes.
Oh, we have a ton of that tonight. It's been thundering and lightning here everywhere. Lightning is very magical.
Yeah, that is
I
one of
love
my
it.
favorite fun facts about lightning is that there is still a big
My
chunk of the lightning phenomena that is still unexplained by science. And that's one of my
so again, we can go back to like when we talk about paranormal investigations, all of us know if there's a storm rolling through, you're probably going to get a little bit better communication because the air is charged. It's crazy. Look at Lauren, she's so excited. So
I know.
Lauren and I have it's I like that you are all watching Lauren and I be so agreeing on all this, but believe me when I tell you we're going to disagree sometimes. It's got to happen. But when? You'll have to see next weekend
I was gonna
and hang
say,
out. See.
are we gonna disagree or are we just gonna like be gentlemen about not agreeing?
Yeah, well, I'm always a gentleman about
One
disagreeing
day we'll
because I
duel.
got other things to do. Um, so yeah, so the static electricity is really amazing, and I really think that that is one of the keys into the paranormal, into the space, into getting into the next spot. So Lauren has dedicated so much of her time to creating equipment and testing equipment and understanding static electricity that just like that, I talked about her thing and she left, and now she has a box full of tchotchkes. I have
Jadkis.
boxes of tchotchkes around my desk as well, but I'm not going to lift them up. So there's one of her boxes, and that's called the Seer. So can you turn that on?
Yeah. Walter,
Mhm. Walter.
he's
Walter's the
coughing.
cat. How cool is that? So
Walter, why are
what?
you coughing?
Dang it, Walter. So I'm going to show you guys something, and this is from a. I don't know if you'll call it a competitor or not, but big shout out to my buddy Bob over at Vortex Ghost Gears. This is something that I purchased, and I keep it here at my desk because I love it so much. This is
Oh
the
yes.
Vortex. Yeah.
Yes.
So this was one of the first pieces of equipment that I ever purchased from not like a big vendor
Yeah.
of paranormal gear.
That's a great
And this is
piece.
so look up Vortex Ghost Gear. They're a really great company. Um, Bob is really awesome.
Actually,
I've I
that
actually have to
inspired
bring
my
this.
that inspired the first seer. Look.
Well, yeah, so that's funny. So this right here, I brought this on an investigation. I wasn't sure what to make of it. I remember when Bob showed me and he talked to me about static. I was like, yeah, that makes so much sense that static would be a part of the paranormal, and I was tired of getting the same K2 hits on everything, and it's so hard for anybody who doesn't know. K2 meters are the things that the ghost hunters walk around with. They're the black box with the light that goes back and forth, and that gets so many false positives, and it's in the wrong hands a completely useless tool because you have to understand. And this is a real quick lesson. It picks up energy on this level. Then if you tilt it, it picks up a completely different. And then if you tilt it like this, it gets a completely different reading. It works on three different axes. So if you're walking around with it flat all night, you may never get anything. But if you were to tilt it like this, you might get it. Or like this, you might get an even stronger reading, which means that there's too much error in it for us to use in ghost hunting unless you sit it still. And even when it's still, it's only
You're not
measuring
getting
one
all the
field.
access.
And then you have the triaxis
Axes.
meter. Yeah, you have the triaxis meter front that like Ghost Adventures uses a lot, which I don't have one, but I think it's probably a better piece of equipment. And then
I
this,
use an electrician's EMF meter.
yeah, basically I think that's one of the better tools. So
Yes.
this very specifically was created for ghost hunting. It's on right now. And what happens is all of these lights around here light up the stronger the static electric charge gets. And I've had a lot of success with putting this on floors where I know there's no static electricity because when you put it down, you see nothing's lit up here. Um, and feeling like watching the lights gradually light up around this, which means that it wasn't an immediate grab like the K2 meter spikes a lot and it does a lot of this. This really doesn't do that. It's very gradual and you can watch the static buildup and charge happen. And the one time when I had this happen with a lot of timing and relevance was I walked into a house where people were experiencing a lot of it was a private investigation, a lot of paranormal stuff going on. I walked in, I clicked this on, I put it on their floor, and I started setting up some equipment. And then we sat down to talk with the homeowner about the things that were happening in the house. And as that was going on, we were talking about it, and all of a sudden, all of the lights started to come on slowly but surely. And the craziest thing happened when it got all the way around and was all the way lit up. We all heard a growl come from the upstairs. It was like, "Rrrr," like a real crazy growl, which we had on video camera from previous things that they
Hate
had done
that.
there. And then this thing went completely blank and it stopped. So there was some sort of buildup for that thing to push enough energy to make an audible noise, and this was picking up that static charge. So really incredible stuff when we talk about static and the paranormal. I love it.
It's my favorite. This was the original seer. So this also, because that doesn't have noise. That's
No noise.
that's the difference of this one, is that it I was able to shield it so that it has noise.
Nice.
But this was the original seer and this doesn't have noise. But the cool thing about it is because they are such simplistic tools and they do exactly what you say they're going to do. And the nice thing that I like about static is that there are not very many false positives that you can, especially this one. This one
Right.
has
That's what
zero.
I was getting about with the K2 meters. It's hard. You can't put this up against an electrical outlet and get it to light up. It just doesn't happen.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
You can rub it
This
against somebody
is,
said, "Would the carpet mess with it?" Yes, if you were to rub this against the
oh,
carpet,
yeah.
it will light it up. But what you wanna do is not do that. We find a nice hard surface that we know isn't gonna be statically charged, and we put it there.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah. I have, we'll have to, one day I'll bring this on our adventure because this is what I use to test a lot of my equipment.
look at that thing.
We're gonna see some static. Oh gosh, it's gonna get my hair. I
Oh
don't know
my
if you
god.
can, I don't know if you can see the middle.
We can hear it. Yeah, we can oh, yeah, we can see it. You guys all see the electricity popping between the 2, domes? That's really cool.
Oh, here, wait, let's do something fun. Ready to be
PJ says,
messy?
where would you buy one?" You could get oh, there you go. Now you guys can see the electricity. I don't know that Lauren's making any more Sears right now, but you can order one from her when she has an open one. If you want to just get a very simple one, and Lauren is nice enough to say that's cool, just look up Vortex Ghost Gear,
Oh my
and
gosh. Yes,
Bob's
please.
site will come up, and you can get one of these. I think they run about $60 or so. They're 3D printed, and they come with a lifetime warranty. So if you, like me, break yours, which I did, I have a quarter holding a battery in right now, and one of the lights disappeared inside because I'm not nice to my stuff. Um, I'm gonna bring it to Bob when he comes to the New Jersey Paracon, and I'm gonna ask him to repair it for me because I love this thing and I hate having it on the sideline because it's not working right.
I don't know if I've ever met Bob, but I do need to meet Bob.
He'll be at the New Jersey Paracon. Very nice guy, and
Um,
he's based out of Pennsylvania, so
oh, okay. Oh my gosh, I had to have run into him at some point.
mhm,
Um,
probably.
all of my
You're welcome,
equipment is
PJ.
is essentially on it is I'm releasing small batches of it at a time. So if anybody is interested in seeing any of the equipment that I build, it's at laurenhantz.com, and you can click and get a reminder for when spots open up. I just opened up a handful a couple days ago, but they sell out uh almost
Quickly,
immediately. And
very quickly.
it I don't know, it gives me senses of weird imposter syndrome. But the cool thing that I was going to say about the first seer was I actually made this for a team that got approved through a university out in the Rutgers University. I don't know if you're familiar with Rutgers University.
Yeah, right up the road. Yep.
Yeah, and the seer was approved for their research. So it
Wow, that's
is,
awesome.
yeah, and I am involved in some dissertation research, just about the paranormal community in general. And my equipment has been purchased with grant money as well too. So I have
So
it's so
when I
crazy.
say I can't be more excited about the team that we're putting together at the Signal Network with all of the amazing people that are coming through from all different backgrounds of life. And it's nice to have somebody on the team who's like an actual like, I'll say like a scientist, like somebody who can observe and report and step back from it and not be emotionally involved. And also having other people, academia, being on board with what we're doing. It's a really huge step in the right direction because I'll tell you what, probably 20 years ago, nobody would look at us if we were like, "You want to take
Oh
this box
no.
that measures static electricity because we think it has to do with ghosts?" They'd laugh us off
There's
the planet.
there's so much paranormal academia out there, like, happening, right? Like, I mean, I have a paper that's being published in an academic journal about the method
Crazy.
that I use to collect data.
I can't wait to read it. So for everybody who's watching, remember, we want to entertain and we want to educate at the same time. It's really important. So that's what we're doing. Lauren dances while she tells you about paranormal stuff.
Physics.
Um, but Kay wants us to remind everybody,
Oh, I
Miss
know.
Kay, our wonderful
She's like,
producer who has
guys.
put in Miss Kay, Silvery Production has put in so much behind the scenes work to make Signal Network what it is today. We should all say thank you to her for sure because she's also
Thank you,
by the way, so
Kay.
thank you, Kay. So everybody knows Kay is one of the heads of the Signal Network. She just does all of her work behind the keyboard, helping us in setting up emails, setting up meetings, setting up video. Like she's the master back there. She's what is that? The Wizard of Oz. So, but I'm like the face of the Wizard of Oz, and she's actually the one behind the curtains. And sometimes when she's like dance, she pulls my strings and I dance.
You're
I
like
just
the
do what she
big
says.
green metal face, and she's
Yes,
like the
exactly. It's
wizard with all the
exactly what I
buttons.
am. So next weekend, again, Lauren and I are going to be together doing something called the Spirit Quest. And today I came up with this really crazy thumbnail so people can't miss it. I made it super
Oh
bright
my
colors.
god. If that's not
It's
our color scheme,
neon.
I'll be devastated.
It,
I'm
it
obsessed with
is.
it.
It's in stone. I created it. It's ours. That's what we're doing with it.
T-shirts. T-shirts.
You want t-shirts like that? Okay.
Obsessed. I'm gonna make
Okay.
stickers.
I love it. So for everybody watching, just know that next weekend, Laura and I are going to be together actively investigating. So if you don't want to see us doing like a podcast style thing and you're like, get to the investigation already, we are. I
That is what we're
promise.
gonna
It
be
is
doing.
coming. And I just want everybody to know we have Spirit Quest planned for this month, then one in October, and then we have potentially one in December if I can work my schedule out. And Spirit Quest are always going to be live paranormal investigations. We're going to be mixing it up with our creators, and most of our creators, all of our creators, are invited to come and be with us for any of them if they can make it. Um, so it's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of mixing and matching of teammates and stuff like that, and having a lot of fun going forward. So our first team up is Lauren and I next weekend. And for everybody who's watching me, who's like, Scott, what about Dalen? Dalen is so busy and dedicated to his channel and his family right now, which I couldn't respect more. He is definitely assisting us, and he is signed to do more Phantom Forensics. We are just building this channel up so that we can have the funding to properly do it. I don't know if Lauren probably doesn't know this. Most episodes of Phantom Forensics that we shot probably cost us around $25,000 to create. That's 35-minute sessions. That's how much television costs to produce, and we brought everything we had to the table on that one. And because of all of you folks who supported it, we're able to create the Signal Network. And now we want to create original programming when we are rolling. So that means Lauren gets her own show that we can actually have a camera crew and creative, besides her, like helping her, a team behind all of our
Writing all
creators
those
doing this.
scripts.
Scripts. Yeah, writing scripts is tough. So that's part of where we're headed. And I just want everybody to know that because somebody wrote something to me that they're like, "Where's Dalen?" Babe, friends, Dalen is flying every single week to a different cemetery to do his amazing work with these families. This week, by the way, and I'm going to speak on Dalen real quick. This week, Dalen went and he spoke to some people who lost their family in a fire. And I got to watch about half of it. And then I was like, okay, I got to take a break because it was real, even for me who deals with this all the time, it was very emotional. So Dalen's doing great work, and our paths are forever intertwined. I'm going to be with him in the beginning of October for Graveyard Shift Fest down in Savannah, Georgia. And then he's coming back up here to the Northeast, and we're going to go to the Shanley Hotel in the beginning of December. So that's an event that anybody can come to. So as we go, as we create, Lauren and I will be going to events together. I'm sure of it. We're just working it out. So everybody who knows, just be patient with us. This is the infancy of everything. And you guys who are here with us right now are at the beginning of that, and we appreciate it.
And keep being here,
Yeah. Keep
please.
being here. Keep just all you have to do is show up and watch, comment. We're just asking for your support. That's it. Watch our shows, hang out with us, share it on your Facebook, your Instagram. Buy if you feel so inclined, purchase books from our authors. One of the other things I think that was really great about the Signal Network is, by the way, go follow Lauren's YouTube channel. I don't know what other things she's going to be posting up there besides what we're getting,
Go
but
to
there
TikTok.
might
Go to
be.
TikTok.
Oh, go to TikTok. Okay. And that's just at Lauren Haunts, right?
Oh yeah, I'm at Lauren Haunts on everything. So TikTok,
Okay, so
Instagram,
just
Facebook.
at Lauren Haunts on any of the social media
You
platforms. You can go
guys are
follow
my
Lauren.
only. You're gonna be on my only YouTube now. I'm just making
Ooh,
stuff for you.
fancy. Well, Sherry,
I'm
hopefully
looking
we'll
at
be coming out near you sometime and we can come see you.
I know I was looking at some of the stuff, and yes, you guys can watch the Phantom Forensics episodes that are out. They're fantastic, and the story it's almost a cliffhanger because there's so much that is going to be spidering out from this story. So yes, like go to the Signal Network main page. You're going to see all of those Phantom Forensics
Yep.
episodes. Watch
And
them.
watch all
Keep
of them.
watching them because that helps too. That helps
Yep.
everything grow. Watch those, share them with your friends, check out some of the other stuff that we have going on. Like, help
We
us,
have a
help
lot.
you.
Yeah, help us help you. That's what we keep telling all of our creators. Help us help you, because we all want to be successful. We want to bring all the great stuff in here. Dalen is the best. Dalen and Dave introduced Scotty to me. Oh, that's so nice. So of course, yeah, Dave Schrader, one of my very besties. I think I'm going to be doing a podcast with him Monday night. I have to check in with him. Monday night, I think I'm going to be joining him on something. Possibly have to check in. But anyways, we have a lot of cool stuff happening. We have a lot of really great friends in the paranormal who are going to be weaving their way in and out of our Signal Network and our channel. I got hit up by another really lovely medium over the week, and she was like, "Scott, are you available to do other programming?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "How are you with remote viewing? Are you comfortable?" And I said, "The most comfortable." And she said, "Okay, I'll be in touch." And that was the end of the conversation. So I'm waiting to hear back from her. Keeping
Do
me
we
on
get
the
to
edge of
know?
my seat. I don't know. I don't know what it
Is
is
it a secret who it is?
for now.
Oh man, fine.
Oh, now, everyone. All right. So we're at about an hour. That's about I'm gonna ask one question off my list here and then
I was
we're
gonna
gonna
say
call it a
we got
night.
to like one question.
But it was a good question and it let us really deep dive and I hope that people watch us and love it. Um let's see. Let me ask a good one here. You know, I don't know what just happened. All the questions that I asked
Oh,
are gone.
God.
Did it refresh and leave? Um, I'll just prompt everybody. ChatGPT is your friend. One great question
To ask
for
Lauren
a
Hunt.
ghost hunter. I'll just put a ghost hunter in general. That way, it's not in either of our wheelhouses. Um, okay, this is a great question. What moment made you stop doubting and truly believe something beyond this life?
Something beyond this life.
Yeah, did you have a moment that you just stopped and you were like, "There's more"?
No, I feel like
You know
I
that
just
moment in
always
Star Wars, the new one, when Han Solo's like, "It's real.
yeah.
It's all real."
I feel like I've always thought that there was something more than what our eyeballs can see. And the cool part is that scientifically it's true. Oh, spoiler
Woo!
alert, it's already there. Uh and then for the yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm just always chasing that. I right? Yeah, that's a long story.
Yeah,
I think we always have a little part in us that is like there's magic in this world.
I
We
agree.
might just not be able to see it all the time. And I've always been like a magical kid.
I was that way, but I think I got very analytical as I got a little bit older, and then that, people I'm not gonna bore everybody with the story, but the moment when I had that spontaneous spirit communication,
Uh
and that I didn't
yeah,
ask
I'm not a
for, and it
psychic or
just
anything.
but you are. There you let me tell everybody something real quick. You're not getting all these ideas from nowhere, and I'm not getting all these ideas from nowhere. There's a very specific reason why somebody out in the world was like, "Scott, static. Lauren, static." And then you and I talked and we were like, "Yo, we had the same thought about static. That's real strange.
I
That's
was
real
Tesla in a
interesting."
previous life.
I I was probably just the guy who liked to play with mud pies, and I would think I would be a layabout is probably something that would have described
Hey
me.
about you
A
were a catch.
layabout. A
You were
catch?
Tesla's cat. You were my
Oh,
cat.
it's cat. Yeah, it was a layabout. Yeah, I was fancy, and I just like to hang out and do nothing, which is kinda
I
like what
love
I
that.
wanna do now.
That's my favorite.
Um,
I hope I'm a cat in my next life.
I'm allergic to cats. That would be real crazy.
Good to
Robert says, I want to hear about Scott's paranormal experiences in Iraq. Well, tomorrow, Rob, when you and I talk, tomorrow night, Rob and I are going to be live at 8:30 p.m., right before we kick off with his podcast, Afraid of Nothing. So, everybody, if you're watching right now, you want to meet Robert Heskey, please do. Tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m., we're going to be right here again. You're going to meet Rob. He's going to be live over here in the other box. Um, Rob,
Have a good background
you
light,
better get,
Rob.
yeah, you better have a good background light. Look, I got freaking lasers.
I
Um,
got fire.
Fire. Um, so that's that. So we'll see everybody tomorrow. Lauren, thank you so much. Again, I'm going to put the link to your book down in the description. So anybody who wants to pick
Yeah.
up one of Lauren's books, you can go to the link that I provide, and we'll go from there. Tomorrow we're going to do Bob Heskey, Afraid of Nothing, starting at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, and then you and I are going to
I'll
be
see you
live
next
next weekend doing
weekend.
Spirit Quest. All right. For everybody who joined us today, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Thank you. If you when we're done, please do me a favor, still share this to your social media stuff, and let people know that if they need a good place for the paranormal, that doesn't cost them a dang thing. Signal Network.
Not a
This is the
dime.
place. All right. See you later, Lauren. Thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate you, and I
Thanks,
will see you
Scotty.
all tomorrow. Good night, everyone.